Guys, let me tell you what just happened because this one really caught my attention. Shams Charania went on air earlier today and dropped what I can only describe as a bombshell update on the New York Knicks. He essentially confirmed something that, to be honest, many of us have been speculating about for weeks. The Knicks are going to make a trade, and the purpose behind it is clear. They want to keep both Landry Shamet and Malcolm Brogdon on this roster as they move forward into the season. Now, when Shams says something like this on ESPN, you know it isn't just some loose rumor floating around. It means there's substance, and the way he laid it out, he didn't just say the Knicks might keep these guys. He explained that the team already has a very specific role mapped out for Brogdon, particularly coming off the bench as a stabilizer in that second unit. Think about that. Brogdon, a veteran who's proven he can run an offense, be efficient, and give you versatility both as a scorer and facilitator, is someone the Knicks clearly see as crucial. And Shamet? That's another layer to this. He's a plug-and-play wing, a guy who can come in, give you spacing, hit shots, and bring some experience. He's not necessarily going to be a headliner every night, but in an 82-game grind, you need players like that, reliable, respected, and able to eat up meaningful minutes without disrupting the flow. But here's where it gets tricky, and this is where Shams's report gets even more interesting. To make this possible, the Knicks have to make a trade. Their cap situation doesn't allow them to just slide these guys in comfortably. The roster as it stands can't carry both Shamet and Brogdon unless somebody is moved out. So now, all eyes are on who the odd man out might be. And it's not just about contracts, it's about philosophy. The Knicks under Mike Brown have made it clear. They are in win-now mode. The East is wide open, and they don't want to waste this window. Mike Brown is said to be serious about adjusting the offense, particularly giving Jalen Brunson more opportunities to work off the ball. And if you're going to do that, you need a secondary floor general who can initiate plays, score when called upon, and relieve pressure. That's Malcolm Brogdon to a T. Sports Illustrated even doubled down on this, reporting that adding Brogdon fits perfectly with the type of sets Mike Brown wants to run. More off-ball actions for Brunson, more flexibility, and another layer of stability for a team that's trying to build a contender. So, when you put all the pieces together, it makes perfect sense why the Knicks are ready to make a tough roster decision to keep both veterans. Now, Shams didn't come out and say exactly who's going to be traded, but he hinted that it has to be someone expendable, somebody who clears the path financially without disrupting the team's foundation. And that's where the speculation begins. Could it be one of the younger guys? Could it be someone deeper in the rotation? We don't know yet, but one thing is certain. The Knicks are prioritizing veteran presence over developmental projects. This is why Shams calling it out on ESPN felt like a confirmation rather than just another rumor. He made it clear. The Knicks are going to have both Shamet and Brogdon on opening night. To get there, a trade is inevitable. And that right there shows you the mindset in New York. Less rookies, more vets, maximize the present, and chase that deep playoff run while the conference is wide open. So yes, this was a huge piece of news, not only because it validates weeks of speculation, but also because it sets the stage for the kind of bold move that reminds everyone the Knicks are done being patient. They're going all in right now. And here's the thing that really stood out to me, because if you needed more proof that the Knicks are dead serious about this plan, you just had to look at Media Day. Malcolm Brogdon was right there in New York, fully suited up, taking his official Knicks photos, jersey on, number assigned, the whole deal. Think about that for a second. The organization is not putting a veteran like Brogdon through the full Media Day routine if they don't already see him as part of the opening night roster. That doesn't happen by accident. They're not setting all of this up just to cut ties a week later. It's confirmation, loud and clear, that Brogdon is in the plan. So again, this all circles back to the same reality. A trade is inevitable. The question now isn't if, but who. And the three names that keep surfacing are Tyler Cole, Miles McBride, and Pamacam Dyer. Now, the most logical and frankly, the cleanest move is still trading Dyer. That's the easiest pathway for New York to create the roster flexibility they need while holding on to two veterans who clearly fit into their win-now vision. But here's the part that can sting for some fans. Because if you're keeping Brogdon and Shemet, someone else, most likely one of the younger guys, isn't going to be here when the season tips off. That's just the hard reality of the situation. And for a lot of fans who have grown attached to the idea of watching those young players develop in a Knicks jersey, it's going to feel like a tough pill to swallow. But this is where the franchise is at. You can't straddle both timelines forever. At some point, you have to decide whether you're building for tomorrow or competing for today. And look, we can debate whether that's the right call, but in the position New York is in, you simply can't sit on your hands and prioritize development projects when the East is wide open and your window is right now. The margin for error is razor thin, and in this league, windows don't stay open for long. This is the kind of bold decision you have to make if you're serious about contending, even if it means sacrificing a little of the future for a chance to win in the present. And Leon Rose, by all accounts, has already drawn that line. He's made it clear internally, a trade is the right move. It's not about what's popular, it's about what maximizes this roster today. That's the mindset. More vets, less rookies, fewer long-term gambles, and a focus on proven players who can deliver when the lights are the brightest. It's about building a team that can withstand the grind of the postseason and go toe-to-toe with anyone in the conference. And that kind of clarity, whether you agree with it or not, shows that the front office is fully locked in on chasing wins right now. Now, speaking of pressure, FanDuel, the sponsor of the show, actually dropped some really interesting odds that tell us just how high expectations already are for New York. According to their updated NBA Cup projections, OKC is still sitting at the top of the board at plus 410, but right behind them, the New York Knicks at plus 550, ahead of the Cavs at plus 600. After that, the gap widens dramatically. Denver's sitting at plus 1,000, Orlando's all the way at plus 1,200, and Atlanta comes in at 1,400. But what does this tell you? It tells you that the Knicks are already seen as one of the three favorites to win this tournament before the season even begins. That's not just hype, that's Vegas telling us this is real. And with that comes an enormous amount of pressure. Because if New York is going to be considered one of the top contenders for something like the NBA Cup, you better believe the front office feels the urgency to make sure the roster reflects that. No excuses, no half measures. So here we are. The Knicks know they must lock in a win-now roster. They know this season is their best chance in decades to break through, to get to the NBA Finals. And that's why Shams's report hit so hard. Because it didn't just confirm the rumors, it underlined the urgency. It told us the organization is moving forward with intent. Brogdon's here, Shemet's here, a trade is coming. The Knicks are all in. And honestly, guys, I get it. Some fans are going to hate the idea of moving on from a rookie or a younger piece. But when you look at the bigger picture, it makes sense. New York isn't playing the long game right now. They're playing the right now game. And sometimes, that's the only way to win.